Okay. Okay, good evening again. Welcome everyone. Okay, so Kaya Mate, you can recite, huh? Okay, no problem. Because I thought you're not able to speak at all. Okay. Okay. Devaki Nandana Krishna Gita Patena Tushyati Yata Navede Dhanena Yajñatita Vritadibihi. The son of Devaki, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, cannot be satisfied by anyone's study of the Vedas, charity, sacrifice, pilgrimage, or vows, as much as he is satisfied by the devotional recitation of the Gita. Okay, I'm going to take you to London for a while. Okay, so remember this building? Do you all remember this building? Except Kartini?
Yes.
Yeah, this is called Bhaktivedanta Manor. Okay, so before we enter the temple, because they have deities and everything, so I just want to introduce a little bit about this place. So this is actually originally a Tudor house built in 16th century. And then in 1884, it was made into a mock Tudor building. All right, so in 1970s, it was made nursing college, and then later on, George Harrison bought it from them, and then he bought it from them to give it as a gift to the ISKCON at that time, just registered. So he donated this building, and the name was changed to Bhaktivedanta Manor. So Bhaktivedanta is Srila Prabhupada's name. Okay, so these are the deities. I don't have their names. Right, Radha Krishna. This is Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. Yes, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. This is the full altar. Okay. Nama Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vigna Vinasha Narsimha Iti Namini. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharini. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Okay, this is the same sloka that I recited earlier. So as usual, recap, yesterday's recap, very quick. I hope it will be quick today because we have a lot to cover today. This is also bearing in mind that we will not have level 2. So I try to give as much as information that I can here in the level 1. What is the title of the chapter?
Nature.
Yeah, recording is on, right? Okay. All right. What is the full title of the chapter 13?
Nature and joy and consciousness.
Very good. So how many questions Arjuna asked?
6.
6. Okay. Let's go in the sequence of Arjuna's question. So what is the first question that he asked?
Prakriti.
Nature.
Nature. So what is nature? Anything that you remember from the nature? Okay, let's list down the questions first. So first is nature or Prakriti. Next.
Enjoyer.
Purusha or enjoyer. Very good. Very good, Miraj. Okay. Next.
Field.
Yes.
Field.
Field or
Knower.
oh, wow. Very good.
Kshetra.
Next.
Knower of the field.
No, the field.
Anybody want to
Shit.
try the Sanskrit term?
Kshetrajan.
Kshetrajan.
Very nice. Setra Jnana. Okay. Jnana means knowing. Okay. So knower. Knower of the field. Kshetra Jnana. Next.
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
Jnana.
Jnana. Very nice. Yeah. Finally,
Is
Object of knowledge.
Object of knowledge. Name.
Nayam. Very good. Okay. All right. So let's go one by one. Nature. What do you recall from yesterday's lesson?
it
Characteristics of this nature.
5 elements.
Right?
Yeah.
No, that is feel, right?
The 3 modes, is it?
nature is birth,
Yeah. So before that, what is the characteristics of this nature, material nature?
is it birth, grow, produce, decay?
Is that the subtle body, the false ego, intelligence, and the unmanifest?
No, that is feel.
24 natures.
Oh, okay, you all are still in feel. Okay, come back to the nature, prakriti.
Is it material nature, enjoy of the material nature?
That is enjoyer of the material nature. There are 2 types of enjoyer. So prakriti.
Material nature,
Okay.
beginningless.
Clue. Sorry, yes, Mataji.
Material nature, beginningless.
Beginningless. It doesn't have a beginning. It doesn't have an end. But what does it have?
It has
What
a
does
body.
it go through?
Products of material.
What does it go through? It doesn't have a beginning. It doesn't have an end. Like I told you, a clay. Okay,
Just
you take the clay, you make a form,
transformation.
and then yes, beginningless, but involve it transformations. And this is because its interaction with the body's interaction with
Environment.
sorry, the nature's interaction with.
The body.
Okay, so why there is a transformation? Why the living entities take various forms of lives? It is very relevant to what we're going to do today.
The modes of nature.
Yes,
Material
Ashwini.
nature.
Yes, beginningless but involve transformation of modes of nature. What are they? GPI. What is that?
Goodness, passion, and ignorance.
Very good. Yes, thank you, Mataji. Then we are going to enjoyer. So just share what do you think about this enjoyer?
Enjoyer.
How many and who are they? 8?
And 2 enjoyers, enjoy material
Soul and the
nature and
super soul.
transcendental enjoyer.
Very good. There are 2 enjoyers. Enjoyer of the material nature, which is us, the spirit soul, and the
Soul
real
and super
enjoyer
soul.
is the super soul. Very good. Okay, now we go to the field. What do you all remember? There's a lot, right?
Body is the field.
Right. Body is the field. What else? What else you all remember? Yesterday we had some science subject.
Field activities.
Field of activities. Very good. The interactions. Yes. What else you all remember? How many material? How many elements?
24
Involved.
elements.
24.
24 elements. How many? How many subtle?
3.
3. What are they?
Mind,
Mind,
intelligence.
Intelligence.
false ego.
Yes. Very good. Okay. Next. Knower.
No.
Soul.
Mm-hmm. Is
Soul
that
and
about it?
super soul.
Yes, soul and super soul. There is a tenant and there is landlord. Okay, always remember the farmer and the king. Okay. All right. Knowledge is understanding the relationship between body and the knower.
Knower.
Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Object of knowledge. What is the goal of everything that we are learning? What is the goal of this knowledge?
Relationship between soul and super soul.
Yes.
Force of light.
Very good. Okay, relationship between soul and super soul. That is the object. All right. So these are the 6 questions and the answers in short. Okay, so before we move on to today's chapter, we have to go through the last verse that we covered yesterday. So what verse is this? Who can tell quickly? What is it about? It's describing what or who?
The enjoyer of the material nature.
Yes, the Purusha question and the material nature. Okay, so the Purusha, us, enjoyer, being the enjoyer of material nature. Okay, so this is talking about the transmigration. He follows certain way of life, enjoying the three modes of nature: passion, goodness, ignorance. That is what we're gonna cover today. And because of our association with these three modes, we develop certain consciousness, and certain impressions is embedded inside our subtle body. And after that, we take a particular body suitable for that consciousness. All right, so we enjoy, and then it's due to our association. All right, we will meet good and evil among various species, so which means we are taking different types of bodies. Okay, so chapter 14, the three modes of material nature. Okay, so as you all know, there are three modes, and what are they? Goodness, passion, ignorance. All embodied soul, nobody is spared, yeah? All embodied souls are under the control of the three modes or quality. Modes means quality. Mode means mood. So you remember like that. Mode means mood. So there are three kinds of mood: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So these are the three main characteristics of material nature. So whatever we do, whatever we speak, whatever we eat, everything you can categorize under these three broad categories: goodness, passion, ignorance, everything. So from now on, chapter 14 and chapter 17 and chapter 18, we will dive into this. Krishna will be categorizing a lot of things in these three modes. So we can reflect and see what are the things that we are doing under which mode, and whether we should be staying there or we should go up. All right, we have to transcend that so we can see. All right. And so in this chapter, Krishna will talk about what are those modes, which you already know. All right, how they work, how they bind the living entity. So remember these modes, right? This picture here, there are ropes here. So how does this do this rope bind us? How is it shaking our hands and legs and making us to do things that we are doing? All right.
Same like wayang kulit.
Wayang kulit, betul. Yeah. So like that. So we want to know what is actually influencing these three modes, the three ladies are changing the influencing
control.
our movement. Control, correct. How they bind the living entity, and how to transcend this. You know that you are so tied by these ropes, and how do you want to escape it? So that one, and how this escapism is, the rope is destroyed by Krishna Bhakti. Okay, that is the goal of this chapter. So yesterday we talked about 24 elements. What was the last one? Who remembers the last one? I kept saying this one we will do tomorrow.
Pradhana.
Pradhana. Pradhana means the unmanifested form of three modes material nature. It's in the body, so it manifests. Okay, it manifests according to the based on the activity that we do, our consciousness. Okay, so you don't really see that. It's in unmanifested form. Okay, so yesterday Krishna spoke about enjoyer, Purusha, which means a soul, super soul, all that covered already. Material nature, Krishna did not go into detail, and now he's going to go into detail. Okay, so remember these three ladies: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay, so what are we generally going to see is this, how the mode's going to condition us. Okay, condition means influencing us, keeping us trapped in a certain situation. So that is being conditioned. I'm so conditioned waking up late in the morning. You're so used to do it, and therefore you tend to do it for a long time more. I'm so conditioned watching newspaper, reading newspaper in the morning. So it's a habit that is hard to break. I'm so conditioned to eat while watching TV. So it's a habit that has been ingrained in us for lifetimes. All right, so here we are talking about only one human lifetime, but there's so many things have been happening in our body and consciousness, and it has been carried forward for millions of lives. So whether we can break it, what we should do, and how easy or hard it is, that's what we're going to see. Okay, from here up to chapter 18. Okay. Okay, so we will see what are the characteristics of activities that are done under these three modes. Okay, if certain activities under these three modes, so what are the characteristics? Or if you want to analyze what is my my activity is falling under. So if you have all these traits, that means your activity is under the mode of goodness. So like that, you want to reflect where do you fall. Actions, what kind of actions, and what if we die in these different modes? What if I die in the mode of goodness? Where do I go? What if I die in the mode of passion? Where do I go? So like that, we will do that also. And then of course, all these three modes, they are material modes. All right, so we need to transcend above it. Okay, so why we have to transcend? Why can't we stay in the goodness? Isn't it good? Okay, so these are the things that we're going to analyze today. Okay, so Krishna will start speaking. Janani Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Sri Bhagavan Vacha Param Bhuya Paravakshami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajñatva Munaya Sarve Param Siddhito Dada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Again I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection."
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So here Krishna is glorifying the knowledge that he is going to give now. Okay, so in the past, Krishna has glorified some knowledges that he has given before. He always said this is the most confidential, this is the best knowledge, like that he has said before previously in chapter 7, chapter 9, chapter 10. So now when he says that he's going to give the best knowledge, it means that he's going to give the best of all knowledge pertaining to these three modes of material nature. Okay, this is the best knowledge that he's going to give. So here in 14.1, Krishna speaks that this is the highest knowledge. He's talking about the glories of this knowledge in verse 1 and verse 2. In verse 2, he's talking about the result of attaining the knowledge. Okay, so somebody, could you please be prepared to read that verse 2 while I explain this? Yeah. Okay, so Krishna says here again, this is the best of knowledge. All right, why we want to learn something, we need to know the objective of it. Because when you understand the flip side, the disadvantage of these things and how they work, how they bind us, if you know this knowledge, then you will next, you want to work out a solution to come out of this. All right, so that is why it is said, understanding the conditioning of the three modes is a powerful tool to assist on the path of self-realization. So we are in the jnana section. This is what jnana yogis do. They try to understand this material nature through this kind of knowledge. Okay, so previously Krishna spoke about Raja Vidya, and then he talked about transcendental knowledge. So when Krishna says this is best, then this is the best knowledge in relation to the mode of material nature. Why it's important for us to understand how these modes are affecting us. Okay, oftentimes we are like on autopilot mode. Okay, so we just behave the way that we are. We don't want to break the cycle because we think that this is all right for me. All right, so we go on like that. All right, so this actually reflecting that we are not aware how we are influenced by this material energy. So these puppet strings are working our hands and legs, and we don't know this where this invisible string is coming from. Okay, so who's ready to read the verse 2?
I can read, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu.
The English one, huh? By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. All right, so basically Krishna is saying you will be freed from repeated cycle of birth and death. All right, okay, so that is the result. This is the glory of the knowledge that Krishna is going to give. First, the supremacy of the knowledge on the modes of material nature. Second, Krishna gives the result. Okay,
So we are done with that glory of this knowledge. Now Krishna is going to speak about his relationship with the material nature. Okay, Krishna says that he is the source and the material nature provide the facility for the living entities to appear in this material world. Okay, so the source is always the father. The mother gives the facility, provide the nourishment. So this is the relationship. Okay, so from verse 3 to 4, Krishna is describing the jiva's, how the jiva comes in contact with Prakriti. So when I see jiva, you know, right? Jiva means soul. Okay, Ishvara means super soul or God. Prakriti means nature. So if you, at any point of time, you don't understand the term that I use, like if I get carried away, so please put in the chat and ask. I can help, or those who are already familiar with these terms also can help. So we help each other. So don't worry about it. If you don't want to interrupt me verbally, you can put in the chat. Okay. And then, in the verse 3, Krishna explains how the Lord impregnates the Prakriti. He glances over the material nature, and the material nature provides facilities for living entities to take birth or to appear or to be created. So Krishna is the father, material nature is the mother. And how Krishna exactly says that, we will see that in verse 4. Kaya Mataji, are you able to read?
Yes.
Okay,
It should
slowly,
be
Mataji.
It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So generally, we always have seen this statement that God is our father. We are the children of God. We are all brother and sisters. So these are general statements that we always hear. So here, Krishna is declaring that he is the father. All right. So how the soul comes into the material world, Krishna impregnates the material nature. And thus he declares here that I am the seed-giving father. And that is how all the living entities have been made, the birth of these living entities made possible in this material nature. So material nature is not the birth giver. I mean, the person who source, being the source of the living entities. Okay, it's just a platform for the living entities to be created. Okay, so I reiterate again, this verse explains how the soul comes into the material world and is placed within the modes of material nature. Aham bija pradapita. Bija means seed. Aham, me. Pradapita, I am the father. Okay, so who is the source of all living entities? The source is Krishna, not Mother Nature. Material nature is the mother. It supplies the living entity with the body. All right. So everything happens because of the combination between the body and the spirit soul. Okay, so they appear here. Okay, so this actually supports the statement that we are all brothers and sisters because we are from the same father, and not only talking about human beings, but our animal friends, our plant friends, these are all also children of God in that sense. Okay, so this is applicable and true for all species of life. Therefore, we should have respect for all forms of life. Okay, so that is the understanding. All right, so father is Krishna, mother in material nature. So not only in Bhagavad Gita, there are other scriptures also talks about father being the most supreme. So these three sources, right, I obtained from my Christian friend. I asked for some biblical verses and she has provided this. I will not read all this. I put it in the slide. Later you all can read. So I have highlighted where are the parts that it is mentioned that it glorify God as father. Okay, so that means the God's position is a father's position. All right, so father means everything comes from him. He is the seed giver. All right, and these are some of the verses that was helped by William Prabhu. Okay, so thank you so much, Prabhu. So you also can read this, some of the verses. Okay, so it's a universal truth that God is father. Okay, father is a father position and father role. All right, so all this, okay, so please read on. We don't have time to go through this. Okay, this is not the first time Krishna is explaining in chapter 14 that he is the seed-giving father. He has actually mentioned in 9.17 that again, Pitaham Asya Jagato. Jagat means universe. Pita means father. He says, did I put this? No, okay. I am the father of the universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. So here also he mentions that he is the father. All right. All right, so that's done. 2 points that we have covered already: the glory of the nature, the glory of the knowledge, and the Krishna is being the father, and material nature's role to provide the facility for the living entities. Now we are going to enter the 3 modes material nature, and this is where chunk of our information today will be. So kindly be attentive. All right, so goodness, passion, ignorance. So everybody try to remember this. Okay, it's very easy, but try to remember. Okay. Okay, let's see whether a person can exhibit the characteristics of goodness all the time, or it's a mixture like these colors. 14.5, Kaya Mataji.
Sattvam rajas tama iti guna prakti sambhava nibbannanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avayam. Material nature consists of 3 modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, Almighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes.
Thank you, Mataji. So, when the eternal living entity, what does it refer to? Eternal living entity.
Is it soul?
Yes, soul. When the pure spirit soul comes into the nature, it will start interacting under the influence of these 3 modes, which is goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay, as for the question that I asked earlier, there are 3, just like these 3 primary colors. All right, there's always a combination of these 3 modes at any point of time. Okay, all different living entities, they are influenced by these 3 modes. Okay, even though there can be a prominence of certain modes at different time, but usually we will exhibit mixture of these modes. It's always the combination of these 3 colors. It can be done in many different ways, just like how we can make many colors out of this. So it's the same thing. These colors also like that. We can mix living entities also can come under combination of 3 modes material nature. Okay, so not all living entities will display only one mode. There is no single living entity only display goodness, only display passion, only display ignorance. No. Okay, so it is a fact that there's always a competition between these 3 modes. Even in the same day, in your day, morning until night, you can try to analyze yourself. Morning, how was your mood? Afternoon, how was your mood? Night, how was your mood? All right, were you fully goodness from the morning until night, or what happened in between, and night what happens? All right, okay, so similarly, just like this color, red and blue, you mix, you get purple. Blue plus yellow, you get green. Sometimes you're orange, sometimes you're purple, sometimes you're all black. Okay, all right, but however, it's going on for a long time that the mode is actually have bound the pure soul to matter. So when the binding happens, this is where the conditioning happens. When that happens, the result is you will experience many emotions, okay, many mental states. All right, so this is how it works. Yeah, okay, so it becomes conditioned. So try to understand it's happening for a long time. Then the pure soul is bound to this material nature under these 3 modes, okay, because of all the activities that it carries out. Okay, so let's move on. Now we are going to see how these 3 different modes or moods affect the soul, the pure soul. Okay, the soul is, of course, it's pure, all right. However, when it comes to the contact with the material nature, it tends to behave because it's covered by the subtle body and the gross body and everything, right? So it acts, it interacts. So we start with goodness. 14.6, Kartini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So here we're going to extract the points, all right, so that we'll understand. Okay, all right, so these are the effects, the binding force of each of the modes upon the conditioned soul. So we will go through this one after another. So 14.6, 14.7, and 14.8. Okay, so we'll try to understand the characteristics of these three modes, how they bind us, and what will it result in. Okay, so we try to understand the characteristics. Yeah. Okay, so in the mode of goodness, people generally have knowledge. Those people who like to study, teach, yeah, it's basically about knowledge. All right, that is why it is said that is illuminating. Knowledge is an illuminator. So a person who functions under this mode of goodness has good amount of knowledge. Therefore, they are seen purer than the others. It means purer than the mode of passion and ignorance, because we are comparing with the other two. Okay, they have knowledge and it illuminates their life. All right, and because they can discriminate, because they have the knowledge, they can discriminate. Okay, this is good, this is bad, I can do this, I cannot do that. Therefore, they will be able to avoid sinful reactions. So these are all characteristics of people act under the mode of goodness. Okay, so if you think what can be wrong being in the mode of goodness, there's nothing wrong to be in the mode of goodness. However, the problem is when we are trapped by these conditioning two elements. What are the two conditioning elements Krishna is saying here? Who can actually catch that? Anybody?
Sense of happiness.
Okay.
Sense of happiness and knowledge.
Yes. Are you? Yeah, Prabhu. I will come to that, but not particularly, but I will touch on that. All right. So the condition for people in the mode of goodness is that they are happy because they have the knowledge. So, okay. So they are happy, they are satisfied, they have the knowledge. I'm done. I'm fine. I have nowhere to go. I don't have anything else to do. I don't have any other duties. I'm fine. I'm not doing any criminal activities. I'm not harming anybody. All right, with me, my knowledge, and just my job, like that. However, they can be conditioned in this way because what tend to seep in? What kind of things tend to seep in this kind of people? Usually I don't ask this question. Usually I'll just give the answer. But this group, as I told, I want to ask question.
That they are better than everyone else.
Yes. What else happens?
False ego.
They are busy with the knowledge, right?
Okay, yeah. So they have the knowledge. What do they feel about it?
Is it pride?
Right.
See, I told you, that's why I asked question in this group. So don't blame me if the class finished late. Okay. All right. So they think I am high class, I'm educated, I don't have to be concerned about others, just minding my own business. All right. So having said that, these people in the mode of goodness, the activity in the mode of goodness is to be encouraged, but we cannot be simply feel contented. What is the word that we feel when you say when you're thinking about contented?
Happy.
Happiness.
What else? Happiness is already here. So when you
They
have,
don't need anything else.
what is that called?
Comfortable.
Samo? Samo, mana cikgu English?
Is it
They
contented?
don't look forward to anything else.
Yes, that's right. Okay, why?
Because they're satisfied with what they have and they think that's enough.
Okay, so they are actually complacent in the mode of goodness. I am done. Okay, so we have examples like here: Brahmana, scientist, philosopher, and poet. So generally, a learned person is called a Brahminical person because he possesses all Brahminical qualities. Again, it's a mode that is developed not by birth. Okay, so those days, the Brahmanas children, they all go to school, they learn a lot of sastras, and they are genius. Okay, however, in modern time, what the Brahmanas do? They become software engineers, they become scientists, they go to different countries, okay, and then create a lot of things to improve the material life. Sometimes they improve, sometimes they want to do population deletion, right, Prabhu? And then if you can't kill a lot of people with COVID, then you create a vaccine. This is what people say, okay? I'm not anti-vaccine, okay? I took vaccine also, but this is what people are saying. They create virus to kill the people, all right? So why? Because they're making so many arrangements to enjoy the material nature. So the ability is being put to wrong use. Okay, what else? Philosophers. So philosophers always engage in discussing the nature of the world. So they always discuss. Okay, they and their work. Poets also like that, same. Okay, so so these are the people in the mode of goodness. So when they are complacent, then they don't find reason for them to advance further. If they don't have knowledge, a transcendental knowledge, they think their journey is done. So this kind of people, you know what happens to them? Repeatedly they'll become a scientist, repeatedly they'll become philosopher, repeatedly they'll become poets or musician or whatsoever. Repeatedly they will do that because they accumulate some credits and then they enjoy, they come back, enjoy, come back, enjoy, come back. So there is no breakthrough for them. So it's very difficult. It's just like you're getting a house near the airport and you're so proud that, oh, I'm staying in airport, I can take the aeroplane anytime, go anywhere. But if you do not board the aeroplane, then you are not getting anywhere. Okay, so the facility is there for you. It's very easy from the mode of goodness to jump into transcendental, but if they are complacent there and they are just stagnant there, then it's very difficult. All right, so this kind of people usually they don't accept this transcendental knowledge because they think their life is good. Okay, all right, so the next one is mode of
Passion.
Passion.
Yes. Okay, 14.7. Jai Silan Prabhu, are you back? Are you back home? I think. Prabhu, are you there? Are you still driving? Prabhu, if it's not convenient, that's okay. I can read.
I can read too.
Okay, Prabhu. Jai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. The mode of passion of desires and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this, the embodied living entity is
Bound
to
material fruitive actions. Can Prabhu?
material fruitive action.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Oh, internet connection.
Yeah. We could hear you. It was breaking, but we could hear you completely. Okay. All right. So, what is the cause of this mode of passion? What is that binding rope here? Sorry,
Desires.
we're not going to the binding.
Desires and
Limited
longings.
desires and longings.
Limited desires and longings.
Okay, desire is still okay, but when it becomes over or becomes unlimited or become too intense, then it's a problem. Okay, so passion binds by the rope of desire and attachment. So generally, the mode of passion is given a characteristics of attraction between man and woman. Okay, but this is not the only example of it. Is just a characteristic. That means the attachment between a man and a woman is very strong. That is why the word passion is used. Okay, so when passion increases, when the mode of passion, the influence of the mode of passion increases on us, we increase our hankerings for material enjoyment. We work very hard and become bound by the activities. Because we work very hard, we already tasted the fruit. All right, and then we work harder because we want to taste more fruit. So when this kind of interaction going again and again and again, we are bound to the
Material.
Material fruitive actions.
Yes, material fruitive actions. We are bound to the actions because we want to enjoy the fruit. Okay, so when passion increases, the certain symptoms will increase. Great attachment, okay, more and more fruitive activity, intense endeavor, uncontrollable desire, and hankering. All this will develop when the mode of passion is prominent. Oh my God, go Puchi. Sorry. All right. So people are generally very strong desire. They want a lot because they want to satisfy their senses. They're very active. They're very ambitious. Okay. However, this ambitions is not for higher purpose. Basically, they just want to enjoy the material nature more and more and more. So the word passion is very popular today. Everything they want to use passion. Passion is God. Passion is exciting. Drive passionately. Everything is passion. So for them, it's very pleasing. I'm so sorry. I'm so phobia of insects.
It's not
Mataji,
Puchi.
sorry.
Krishna is at your house.
I think Krishna should wait there on the curtain. Don't come in. One time a bee came and fall right on my laptop. I have to throw it outside gently. A bee at night. So it's amazing why that happened. Okay.
Mataji, sorry, Mataji, one small question.
Yes.
What does it mean then if we are passionate towards Krishna then?
Oh, that's spiritual, Prabhu. That is not material.
Ah, I see. Okay. Understood.
Yes,
Understood.
yes.
Okay.
Anyways, since you have asked that question, even devotional service can be in these three modes if you're not very careful about it. Why? Sometimes we want to do a lot of devotional service, but we are actually passionate for name, fame, and glory. Okay, that is not so good. And then ignorance is later we will see the characteristics of ignorance. So you can't just eat prasad from morning until night and then sleep. So that is also not good. All right. So even devotional service has to be transcendental. It should not be contaminated by these three modes. All right. Very good question, Prabhu. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So what else? So generally, these kind of activities, it will be nectarian in the beginning. Later on, it become poisonous. Example, when people get intoxicated, they want to forget problem. They see heaven. After that, what happened? Next day, what happened?
Reality kicks in.
What's that?
Reality kicks in.
Reality kicks in what way?
They get a hangover.
Hangover. Yeah. All right. So if you ask those who have been intoxicated the next day,
Oh,
they
she
will
knows,
say, huh? Who, Prabhu?
He knows.
Who? Sorry?
Somebody said, right? Hangover.
Hangover, yeah. I think
Experience.
sometimes we don't have to experience certain things. We can see what's happening. Because I've seen my family members also. So they'll drink. Sometimes they forget. Actually, just to share, they forget what happens the night before. They totally forget. Did I say that? Did I do that? Totally. Even my father does that. Totally forget that he spoke to me on the phone. Then he'll tell my mom, did I speak to her? Why her phone number was on my last dial? So, yeah. So you know what kind of things happen to people when they're intoxicated uncontrollably. All right. So back to this concept that it will be nectarian in the beginning, but it become poisonous at the end. So one has to be very careful. Why? Because once you are positioned, if you identify that you are positioned in the mode of passion, there is a tendency for you to glide down the passion of ignorance. But if you can consciously make a change, then you can go up to mode of goodness. So these are the two important things here: desire and attachment in passion. These are the characteristics. Okay, desire, longing, hankering, over endeavor, all that characteristics and behaviors of people in the mode of passion. Okay, so you need to differentiate that. What actually binds them to this? Because they want to enjoy the material fruit. Okay, so that we have to jump to ignorance now. 14.8. Prabhu.
Sorry for coming late, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu, it's
Hare
okay.
Krishna on. O son of Bharat, know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The result of this mode are madness, indulgence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul.
Right. Okay, so now I would like to ask you all the questions. So what are the characteristics of this mode of ignorance?
Madness,
Madness,
Darkness.
indulgence,
sleep, which bind.
sleeping.
Really?
Darkness.
Darkness.
Born of
Darkness born of
ignorance.
ignorance.
Darkness.
Darkness. What else?
Illusion.
Delusion. Yes. Okay. Darkness, illusion. These are the
Ignorance.
main characteristics. Okay. So, but I will give you more. Okay, in a while. Huh? All right. So this mode is exactly the opposite of mode of
Goodness.
goodness. Very good. Okay. Mode of ignorance is darkness. Goodness is light, illumination because of the knowledge. There, presence of knowledge. Here, absence of knowledge. There, presence of discriminatory tendency. Is that the right word? Okay. Here, no discrimination. The discrimination is absent. Okay. So how this mode of ignorance binds somebody? Because of madness, indolence, too much of sleeping, laziness. Okay. Indolence means avoiding activity. All right. Laziness basically is also laziness. Okay. So it's totally opposite from goodness. Goodness is about happy, knowledge, not ignorant, know what to do, know what not to do. So that's why they can avoid sinful reactions. But these people in ignorance, they don't know what is happening. Okay, darkness, inertia, madness, illusion. Okay, so okay, so that is delusion and ignorance. So a quick recap, yeah. Goodness, bound by
Happiness and knowledge. Happiness and
happiness.
knowledge.
Very good. Passion, bound by
Material fruitive actions.
very good.
Desires.
Yeah, really? Passion, bound by
Material fruitive actions.
yes. So don't confuse with the characteristics and the binding rope, the rope. Okay. Ignorance, bound by
Madness.
Darkness, delusion,
that is
indolence.
character.
Darkness, delusion,
Ah.
and indolence. Yeah.
Madness, indolence, and sleep.
Yes. Okay. The top here are the characteristics or symptoms, and this is the how it binds us. Okay. So always remember this is totally different from mode of goodness. Okay. So what kind of people fall under this? They think money is everything. So they work madly, only accumulate wealth. Nothing, no effort is taken or put into nourishing the eternal spirit inside. So even when people invite them to, come and join, hear something, so they won't be interested. So that is ignorance. And then oversleeping. So these are symptoms of people under mode of ignorance. And then there are also people who look at this picture, they are addicted to intoxication. Addiction to intoxication and sleeping. These are just examples. Okay, so we will have to recap this, okay, so that you'll understand. So we will go by modes, characteristics or symptoms. Basically, it's the behavior and then the binding force. Okay, so we go by goodness, passion, and ignorance. So what is the characteristics or symptoms of people under the mode of goodness?
Two. Knowledge.
Okay, what is that term if they have the knowledge?
Illuminating.
Yes, illuminating. And because they have knowledge,
they can discriminate between right and wrong.
All right. Okay. When they discriminate,
they become conditioned by sense of happiness and knowledge.
Belum, Prabhu.
Oh, sorry.
One by one.
They are free from sinful reactions.
Yes, no sinful reactions. Very good. Okay. So there are 9 gates in our body. right? You count all the 9 gates, and these people in the mode of goodness, all their 9 gates functions with knowledge. All the 9 gates are illuminated by knowledge. So which means they can see, they can hear, they can taste, they can act, everything they can do in the right position. So this is the behavior of people in the mode of goodness, or characteristics of mode of goodness. However, it has the binding factors, which are binding force.
Sense of happiness and knowledge.
Happiness and knowledge. Okay, so you should be able to explain why happiness is not good, why knowledge is not good. So it's not that it's not good, but how it binds further. Then you should be able to explain that sense of pride kicks in. They think they are better than others, and they feel complacent, and they don't want to move on further. Just give me a second. Okay, all right, and then next we go to passion. What is the characteristic or symptoms for passion?
Unlimited desire.
Yes.
Desires and longings.
And longings.
Longings.
Attachment.
Attachment will be the rope.
Okay.
The desire will lead to attachment. Okay, so we have unlimited desire, we have longing.
Longings.
What else? The effort, what do you call that effort that they put in?
Work hard for money.
Yes, intense endeavor. And what kind of activities that they engage in?
Oh, drinking and all that.
Yeah, what is it generally called?
Sense gratification.
Indulgence.
Very good. Okay, so fruitive activity is good that you are coming up with different terms, because the understanding is there. Okay, so don't worry about the term. The understanding is important. All right, and how are they bound under this mode of passion? Now you can bring the term just now, somebody mentioned it.
Bound to material fruitive actions.
Okay, so what is that?
Sense gratification.
Okay, what is that? How do
Attachment.
Attachment, yes. Attachment to fruitive activity. Yeah, because you have all these symptoms and this cycle goes on, right? Because they have desire. They want to engage in so many fruitive activities because they attach to the fruit. So they want to enjoy that. Finally, we have ignorance. What are some of the characteristics that you can say?
Darkness and delusion.
What do they do? What kind of activities fall under this characteristics, symptoms, behaviors?
Madness.
Lazy, indolent.
Lazy
and doing nothing.
Doing nothing, inertia, yes. What else?
Sleep.
Oh, yeah, sleep. Sorry,
all the time.
I know some always love to sleep, but no oversleeping. Okay, I've heard that if you sleep more than 6 hours, 7 hours, you're actually drugging your body. Okay, anyway, you wake up so feeling lethargic anyway. All right, so what is the binding force here? I think there's only one word used. Madness. Okay, madness. That is the conclusion of this ignorance, madness. All right, darkness, inertia, madness, illusion, all these symptoms are manifested. And what is absent here? Yes, sorry, Mataji.
Discrimination.
Yeah, your discriminatory power is absent. Actually, discriminatory power is a statistical term we use in stats, but I think we can use this also. Your discriminatory power.
Discriminative means, yeah, it doesn't realize good and bad, is it?
Yes, Prabhu, you are not able to weigh pros and cons. Yeah, it's okay especially when you're drunk or intoxicated, when you totally have no knowledge. It's okay, I watch TV 24 hours. It's okay, I sleep 24 hours. I don't care what people say. This don't care attitude. This is ignorance because they don't have knowledge. Oh no, I should only sleep this much. Morning, I have to wake up and I have to do my regular duties. These are the differences.
So lack of buddhi lah.
Sorry, Prabhu?
Lack of buddhi.
Buddhi, yes, knowledge, that one, yes, there is no buddhi yoga. Okay, very good, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing.
Excuse me, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Even working day to night comes under madness, right?
Working day to night, Mataji?
Yeah, working day. I mean, working so hard from
Yes.
morning.
Yeah.
Also madness, right?
Yes, ignorance.
Yes.
Sometimes you die on the desk while walking,
Yeah.
while working. Yeah, so that's very sad. Okay, so 14 to 15. This one we are talking about if a person dies in certain mode, where do they go? Okay, this one is very interesting also. Sam Prabhu.
Yeah. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains.
Excuse me, Prabhu. Can mute who's that? User's iPhone. Can I know who's this? User's iPhone. Can I rename you? We don't know who's this. Okay, Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu. Okay.
Okay, I continue.
Yes.
When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets of the great sages. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom.
Okay. Kartini Mataji, keep an eye on the mics, yeah? I want to know who's user's iPhone, please. Please rename so we know who is in the class. Who's okay? Please rename so I know who is in the class, okay?
Okay, all right, no problem.
What is spying?
Beda.
Okay, if you need any help to rename, I can do that. I think Kartini Mataji also can do that. Okay, so hold on. Okay, dying in the mode of goodness. All right. So this is always about one's action throughout the life and also what happens at the time of death. Okay, so this is also predominated by a specific mode of nature. Therefore, later it will bring the certain results. All right, so two things. It depends on your actions throughout your life and how you die at the end. Users iPhone, if there's one more time noise, I think we have to remove you. So please reveal who are you, or otherwise, if you just want to observe, you can mute your mic. Okay. All right, because the time is running, so we need to catch up. All right, so it's a good way, but you can be a silent spy. It's good. All right. Okay, so dying in the mode of goodness is an example like, who can give me some examples? Let's see whether you can think of something.
Thinking of Krishna at the last moment.
Of course, that is transcendental. That is above that. Later, the one we will see that. Okay. Mode of goodness. Okay, I give one example. When you die at a certain auspicious time. So that is one example. What else?
Die while doing something selfless.
Or die in a sleep.
Auspicious
month. Prabhu, die in sleep. You don't know what's on your mind. Okay, that one is in ignorance. Okay.
Auspicious mind.
Auspicious
month. Sorry, month.
Yeah, okay. The one I told already from Mataji.
Oh, that's day. I thought date. I thought it was time.
Yeah, it's the same auspicious time. Okay, auspicious month, auspicious day. Okay.
Die while chanting.
That one transcendental.
Like what day, yeah?
Huh? Sorry?
What day? Ekadasi.
Ekadasi is transcendental.
What about dying in a holy place?
Yeah, that's a good example. Thank you for that, Mataji. Auspicious time, meditative mode, dying in holy places like Benares, Haridwar, Bank of Ganges, all that. And when you are surrounded by saintly people, saying prayers, all that one. All right. So these are all dying in the mode of goodness. Of course, you can ask a question.
While doing devotional process.
Transcendental, Prabhu. Okay. Of course, it's all in the mind also. What are you thinking in the mind? Quiet already suddenly. Okay, so even when you're doing devotional service, but your mind is thinking of something else, so it's difficult to determine also. All right, so And then if you are a criminal and your entire life, and when your time of death is coming soon, and then you want to go die on the bank of Ganges, also it doesn't guarantee you that you will go to planet of the great sages. Okay. All right. So generally, if you have been good, and then you leaving your body at a holy time, auspicious time, auspicious month, holy place, meditative mode, surrounded by saintly people, then you will go to higher planets like Brahmaloka, Tapaloka. Okay, the topmost is Satyaloka. So later I have the chart. If you're whoever can stay late, you can get to see the chart. Okay. All right. So otherwise they will attend the... Okay, Mataji, I think I need to remove. How to remove? I'm so sorry. Okay. I'm so sorry. I need to remove. I never did this in my 1 year plus classes. Never did that. Okay. So they will go to planet of great sages. So great sages means tapaloka. Okay. Orang yang bertapa pergi sana, great sages. Okay. So why? Because people who are in the mode of goodness, they accumulated piety, purity, happiness, knowledge. Okay. And I don't know if I mentioned this. It is mentioned that like a great musician like Ravi Shankar, he has actually taken 9 births, and again he's becoming as musician. All right. So which means they have a good life. All right. They accumulate nice credits, and then they go, but they come back. They go, come back. Okay, so that is the problem with mode of goodness if you don't transcend it. However, it's not as bad as the passion and ignorance. Okay.
Maybe it's a passion, right, for music?
It's also knowledge, but the passion is, unless he's very money-minded, I think.
No, his passion for music is too strong.
Okay, so I think he still falls, because the information given is that he is categorized under mode of goodness. So I think not all musicians are, maybe he's not materially passionate, but it's just passionate for music. Sometimes people say when a person is born very good singer, right? They will say, oh, this is Gandharvas from heaven. Gandharvas are singers, celestial singers in heaven. They sing. That's what they do. I think Gandharvas. And then the dancers are, they call Apsaras. So this must be dancers from the heavenly planets. That's why they sing. So they have certain very unique talents because of all the impression they have accumulated throughout so many lifetimes. All right, so one dies in the mode of passion. He takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. So generally, passion is bound by attachment to fruitive activities. So what are the examples that you can think of a person dying in the mode of passion?
Working hard to death.
Okay. What else? Passion, dying in the mode of passion. Fast. It's not hard actually. Who likes to race? What happens to them if they die in the race? This is called dying in the mode of passion. Car racing. Okay. Stock market crash, heart attack. That is dying in the mode of passion. Okay, these are just some of the examples that I can give. If you have any more, you can share. So the destination is they will come back to the middle planetary system where the Earth is. All right, because they're going to come back here, and this is where people work for fruitive activities. So they will be born again here. Okay, after they suffer credits, after they enjoy their credits in whatever place, and they're gonna come back here, this is where they'll be born again. Okay,
so Ravi Shankar comes under here, right?
Like I mentioned earlier, he was categorized under the mode of goodness. So maybe his lifestyle is in the mode of goodness.
And what about all of us? We come back in the same form in that case, right? Because we're passionate from before, is it?
I wouldn't be able to tell, Prabhu, because you still have a long way to go, and you may have perfection in your devotional life in this life, and you can go back to Godhead, so you will not fall under this GPI at all. Okay, however, that you are here, it could be because of your pious credits or spiritual credits accumulated from the past, All right, because from what I have interviewed you, you have not had any chance of a religious or spiritual practice, right? So it must be your past karmas. Yes or no, Prabhu? Am I right?
Mataji, that is the plan, I think.
Yeah, you will never know. Sometimes this karma, right? The way to understand is very difficult because Krishna also said the intricacies of action is difficult to understand. Why the karma can be in a seed form or can be fruitified form. So whatever good things that you are experiencing now, it is already fructified. All right, even though you think that I have not done so many good things in this life, but why I'm getting so many good things is because in the past it has been seed, so it is fructifying now. And then if you realize that I've been so good all my life and why I'm getting so much of distress, right? Because the seed of the bad karmas is fructifying now, and all the good things that you're doing now, it's still in the seed form. So sooner or later in this life or next life, it will fructify and then you will be enjoying the credits. Okay, so that's how it works. All right, so if you go into the karma topic, it's really, really deep. Okay, so we are moving to dying in the mode of ignorance. Okay, how? Give me some examples. Dying in the mode of ignorance means you don't realize. Mati kata.
Maybe overdose and die.
Oh yes, that's right.
Overdose of drug.
Overdose of intoxication. That's a good example. Yes. What else?
Mataji, while sleeping?
While sleeping, yes, because you don't have a control of what your mind was thinking. So it's a very sad state to leave the body when you're dying because you do not have a control, and people around you also are not prepared to send you off appropriately. It's different when you are sick for a long time. Someone is sick for a long time, the person is known to be leaving soon, and you're surrounded by singing lots of devotional hymns, right? So that is mode of goodness. But if you have no sorry, Prabhu?
Okay, what if the person dies while sleeping?
Yeah, it's ignorance.
Doing a good day. No, doing a good day, let's say Yakadasi.
Then all his activities throughout his life will play a role in that. So definitely when he leaves the body, he may be semi-conscious, right? So we don't know. It's really difficult to say what is happening in his head. But Krishna already said, whatever happening in your head when you are dying, that state you will definitely will get. So how that is determined, it depends on his actions. Okay, but for a devotee, Prabhupada was asked this question, Prabhupada, what happens in throughout my life, I have dedicated my life to Krishna. But what if due to the pain and conditions during my dying time, I am not able to remember Krishna? It's because of some pains or whatsoever. Then Prabhupada said, because of the service that you've done for Krishna, Krishna will never forget you and he will push himself into your memory. And this statement was given by Ramanujacharya, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, it's Ramanujacharya. I think I read from his book. So he mentioned that. And one Alvar said, Appodiki ippe na solli vithen. That means I don't know what's going to happen later, but now I am praying to you, please come into my mind because I don't know what's going to happen in my mind next.
Something like prepaid, Mataji.
Betul. Yes, Yamuna Mataji. I forgot who is the Alvar. Appodiki ippe solli vithen. He will sing a song of that. All right. If you are familiar with this, the 4,000 Divya Prabandham, it's somewhere there. So it's like that. So two ways we can do that. Of course, we cannot demand for the Lord, right? So we have to earn that. All right. So we try to fulfill our life through our devotion service. Naturally, what we have studied, it will come out in the exam and you'll be able to answer. All right. But still, again, remember the 2 inches short when Mother Yashoda tried Krishna is always our determination and Krishna's mercy. So it's 2 ways. Okay. So have I finished this? Okay. So
what about
so the part about dying in your sleep is actually not good because you don't have people around you chanting and sending you, you know. Oh my God, I have to change my perspective now.
Yes, you know why? I know why you're saying that, because people say he died peacefully in sleep.
Yes, exactly.
So before this, yes, I thought he has no pain. Yes, it's a painless death. But after I got this knowledge, oh my God, I don't want that to happen. At least I can I'm okay to feel sick, and I quickly call I told my friends already, if I get sick, quickly come and sing for me. So this is why how I book them. Okay.
Oh,
Mindset change now.
pretty long.
Yes, so there
Okay.
is no such thing as passing away peacefully in sleep. I know many people think it's painless. Yes, painless for the body, but are you thinking about the soul, where the soul is going to go? Especially when you know how the person has lead a life. All right, so it's painless for the body, not for the soul. So now that we have this knowledge, we should put into practice and we should share with people. All right, and again, another example is like people say, may the soul rest in peace. Now you know the soul is always active, the soul cannot rest. All right, what you can say is, may the soul find its way to the lotus feet of the Lord. May the soul continues its journey, or may the Lord shelters the soul's journey. So these are the ways that you can give good wishes for the soul to move on, because in the past we don't know how much the soul has gone through, and at least you want to wish for the good thing for the soul to move on. All right, so it took me so long to make my big family understand that soul will not rest in peace, so that is not the duty of the soul.
That
Okay.
means telling somebody to
I have
rest
a
in peace.
question, Mataji.
Very ignorant.
Yes, Prabhu, what is it?
Okay, what about those who commit suicide and those who
Yes.
died by accident, where they
Okay,
fall?
accident. Again, accident. If you are driving, right? If you are driving in the mode of racing mentality, this is where you'll be born, engaged in fruity activities. If you die due to suicide, it is ignorance. So actually, we are not done with the example. So you have covered alcohol, drug, suicide, sleep. Okay, these are the 4 examples. All right. So suicide is also ignorance because they lack of knowledge. All right, because they don't know what's gonna the soul is going to go through a trauma, and then your next body is not ready. So therefore you will be roaming in your subtle body because your next gross body is not ready. All right, and you have destroyed your existing gross body, so you have to what you call that, float between planets waiting for the time. And it's such a torturous place to be in because you're not able to eat or sleep, eat or drink, because you need a gross body to do that. And then that's how the subtle body goes into another gross body because they want to enjoy. So all that. So that's another topic. All right.
You're
So
talking about possessed, isn't it, Mataji? Being possessed. Okay.
Why? Because they cannot enjoy drinking and eating in their subtle body. Right? So now can you see you are understanding the soul, the difference of the body, and yesterday we studied about the subtle body. All right, and now you know what happens dying in different modes. Okay, so those people who die in this mode, they be born in animal kingdom. Okay, so great sages, fruitive activities, animal kingdom.
So which is the best way to leave your soul? Is it through the eyes, or some people through the eyes, some people through the nose? So which is the best way?
Yeah, generally it is auspicious when the life air goes out above your navel.
Above the navel. So it can be the mouth, the eyes, anything, right?
Yeah, so anything below is inauspicious.
And what about those people who are on support machines, and then the doctors say you have to off the machine, it's no use? Is that the right thing to do or wrong? Are we controlling death then?
I don't know. Haridas Pushpa Mataji, your comment, please.
No, I really don't know.
You can set the time to go off.
This is committee suicide.
I think that's in the hand of God, no matter what.
Yeah, I think even the thing has to happen is because God allows it to happen that way.
Yeah, correct.
So you shouldn't feel guilty if you choose for your, if one of your family members or loved ones is on a support system, and then the doctor tell you, no, you have to just off it because there's no chance.
Like
so it's
my
not
dad.
a sin.
Yeah, I can check on that, Mataji.
Please let me know.
Yeah, I check on
Doctor
that.
gives the time.
Yeah, like my dad, he said, if at all anything happens to me, don't let me be on life support, just send me off. He said like that. So if a person already said that, then probably you need to fulfill their...
So then it's okay. That's what I always say.
Because you are holding them on, I think they will have lots of body traumas, right? Yeah. But I don't know medically if that is okay or not. Medically, SOP, I don't know about that. Okay.
What about those,
But then we will have people praying
Basically.
for them, you know.
That's where you need the
That's a
consent of
goodness.
the family.
So
So
what about
I've seen devotees children. They were in the ventilator and everything, buying time, right? Up to 7 days, I've seen one baby, newborn baby. So what we did almost every day, we will go and chant around him. Okay, such a small baby, 6 months like that. So I think they were having hope, but at the same time we were chanting. So finally the boy left the body. But anyway, that is a transcendental death in that sense.
what about donating your organs?
Organs is actually you're getting pious karma. That's about it. So devotees
what?
generally pious karma.
Pious
Piety. So generally devotees are advised not to, because our aim is to zeroize your karmic activities. All right. So it may sound selfish, but actually we don't want to
donate.
Yeah, it's
All right,
want
got
to
it.
carry on doing it. Yeah. Okay.
Why,
Okay.
Mataji? You will have to
But
come
you
back.
can. Nobody's stopping you. It's just that you get pious credit and you will have
You have to come
enjoy.
back.
Enjoy. Yes, that's right. It's not wrong, but if you want to come and enjoy, it's your choice.
Somebody has to pay you. Huh?
Yeah, sudah bagi
So that
hutang
is the
kena
other
ambil balik
thing.
mah. Oh my God, we have so many slides. Okay, hold on. Let me move on. Okay, so death in goodness.
Let's continue.
Planet
So
of
interesting.
I know. Death in goodness, planet of sages. Death in passion, you get human form of body. Death in ignorance, you take a birth in
Animal
lower
kingdom.
species like animal kingdom. So basically, we should avoid this. All right. If we become dog or cat, or we become cow or lion or monkey, it's difficult to transcend that, because once you are in a plant or animal mode, you're on autopilot already. So the evolution will have to take place naturally. Okay, so there are 3 gateways to human, 3 gateways to go to animal planet. This one is just additional information for you. Cow, lion, monkey, they were previously no, their next birth will be human. So cow, lion, and monkey. So cow goodness, lion passionate, monkey is ignorance. Okay, so if somebody behaves like so goody like that, you will know this person has been at least a human being or a cow in the past. All right, or the person is so passionate, then probably he was a lion in the past, and people who are ignorant, probably he was monkey in the past. All right, and the human entering into animal kingdom is the gateway is being a dog or cat. All right, so the dog would have been human in the past. So I guess that's how it's given name as man's best friend. Okay, because they behave like human. They can really relate with somebody's mic is noisy. Okay. Okay, so depending on the mode of material nature that is being prominent, we will get that particular body. However, we still have to fall back to whatever state whatever state of mind that we are, whatever state we are in at the time of that state will attain without fail. Okay, so the reactions will not apply for animals, only for humans. That's why people say it's very important. All right, and we should not go by human life is only one, so enjoy. Oh, it's a very scary thing after knowing all these things. All right.
Sorry, Mataji, I have one small kurtu kelvi.
Okay.
Why we don't come back into the plant kingdom?
What if you don't come back?
No, why they don't talk about coming back into the plant kingdom? They only say come back into the animal kingdom.
Same, Prabhu. I just said lower species did plant is even worse. You know why? Because you will standing there for hundreds of years waiting for you to be chopped down or whatever. That's even worse. So the people who get plant body is like I mentioned one time, if you're attached to the family, you probably grow as a plant outside the tree. Tree outside the house. All right. And another example given in Bhagavad Gita, those who pose nude. All right. So these kind of people, Krishna, the nature will say like, okay, you would like to be nude, right? So you can stand as a tree. So there's a picture in between Bhagavad Gita book. If I can find that, I will take the picture and share. All right. And the creepers. Sorry, Prabhu?
No, I said thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we move on. All right. Okay. All right. So now the question is, how are we going to break the chain? So Arjuna is asking the question, 1421. Pushpa Mataji, are you there? Pushpa Mataji, please unmute.
Okay. Arjuna inquired, "Oh my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior? And how does he transcend the modes of nature?"
Okay, so thank you, Mataji. So there are three questions that Arjuna is asking. He's asking about the symptoms. Symptom who has broken the chain. Okay, so from now on, I'm going to use the term broken the chain. I'm going to replace that with transcend. So when I use transcend, then you need to understand that I'm talking about rising above the goodness, passion, ignorance. Okay, rising above the GPI. Okay, and next question is, what is his behavior? Okay, and finally he asked, how does he transcend? Okay, so the symptoms is in text 22. The behavior is from text 23 to 25. I don't think we have time to read those slokas. Okay, we are going to jump into 26. So please read these symptoms and behavior. Okay, somebody's mic. Okay, so after Krishna explained the nature of the material, the symptoms, the pervasive control, the control of the material nature, Krishna is now going to give a solution. Now Krishna already gave a problem statement. The problem statement is that whether you are in G or P or I, you have to take a rebirth. Okay, now how to solve that? That is Krishna giving now. Okay, the solution. 1426. Kush Mataji, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you've been quiet, Mataji.
I have been absorbing everything.
Okay.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Yes, I'll read this one first. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So this is a solution, and what way? Okay, what was the solution given here?
Engage in full devotional
Engage
service.
in full
Yes, the
devotional
solution
service.
is engage in full devotional service.
Unfailing.
Yes, in what way? Unfailing in all circumstances. Which means, ayo sakit sini, okay, today I don't want to do that. Ayo sakit sana, I don't want to do that. So it's unmotivated and uninterrupted. That is called unfailing in all circumstances. Okay, so that's how he does that. Transcending. Okay, all right. So this is actually a story of a Mrigari hunter. I don't know if I have time to narrate that, but I want to show you all this. Okay, very good. This one I don't have to explain, right? I have been repeating in almost every classes. Okay, right? I can skip this, right? Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. I think now all of you are expert already. Okay, so I'm going to skip this as well. Pushpa Mataji, mic. Okay, somebody help. Okay, Sam Prabhu. Okay, so this is again that verse. Okay, I will share the video in the group. You can watch that. Okay, so here, let me see where we stop here. Here, Krishna says that a person who engaged in full devotion service, in what condition, whatever condition he is unfailing, he will come to the level of Brahman. Okay, so now I'm going to fast forward to this one here. Krishna is saying, who is the Brahman? He says, I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. What is Brahman?
Energy.
What is Brahman? Sorry, Prabhu, can't hear you.
Energy.
No.
This is light, right?
Yes, Jyoti. Remember, Brahman means Brahma Jyoti, Jyoti, light, okay, effulgence, all that. Okay, yes, it could be energy. All right, the energy is pervaded everywhere, but particularly it's the light, all right, the effulgence from Krishna's body. And he says, I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. Remember, I always say, if there is a light, then there should be a source. If there is a light here in this room, because there is a bulb. If there is a sunlight, then there should be a sun. So Krishna said that he is the source of the, he's the basis of the impersonal Brahman. And then these terms we have already done previously. Brinda Mataji, sorry, please read. Are you still here?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, sorry.
And I'm the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and it is constitutional position of ultimate happiness.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So here Krishna said that he is the basis of the impersonal Brahman, and then he gives the characteristics. It's immortal, it's imperishable, it's eternal, and it is the source of the ultimate happiness. We call it the Sukha. Sukha means happiness. Okay, so Brahman is Brahma Jyoti, the light emanating from the body of Krishna. So the constitutional position of the Brahman is immortal, imperishable, and eternal happiness. Okay, so whoever can position himself here, then he's going to taste immense happiness. Okay, yeah, so that's about it. So Krishna says here he is the source of Brahman. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you some charts here. Okay, let's focus here. This is Burloka, we are here. This is like, you know, in the mall, right? You are in the lift and then it will say, you are here, look here, it's written here, you are here. This is our earth. And this entire line is, horizontal line is middle planet. Here you will find both subtle and gross bodies. Sometimes you can see things that has body. Sometimes you can see things without body. Okay. So if you go down, you have 7 lower planetary system. The hellish planets are at the bottom here. Here, Mahavishnu is residing here. From his body, all the many universes are coming. So that's how it starts, right? Okay. So all this Patala, Rasatala, Mahatala, all this lower planetary system, hellish at the right, at the bottom. Okay, lower planets, all gross, okay, all with bodies. Okay, and then as you go up here, above Burloka, you have Bhuvarloka. So you know that song, right? Om Bur Bhuva Swaha. So Bur is Bhuloka. We are here. Next is Bhuvarloka. Bhuvarloka is a place where all the Rakshasas and ghosts reside. Okay, surprisingly, they are not at the lower planetary system, they are upper planetary system. And then you go higher, you have heavenly planets, that is Swargaloka or Indraloka. Bur, Bhuva, Suvaha. So here you can see the Indra on his white elephant, and here you have Lord Ganesha. So this is an example of the planets of Devas. Each Deva will have one planet for themselves. Okay, so those who worship those particular Ishta Deva, they will be born in that planet. Okay, all right. So as you go up here, you have Maharloka. Janaloka means the planet of 7 sages. Then Tapaloka, remember the people who are in the mode of die in the mode of goodness, they appear here, Tapaloka. Finally, Satyaloka, where Lord Brahma resides. Okay, so you can see here the lotus stem is coming out from Mahavishnu's navel, is coming and going up here. Lord Brahma is here. Okay, so this entire material planet is under the supervision of Durga Devi. Okay, so at the border here, there is Kshirodakasaya Vishnu. I will cover that another time. Okay, so that is one. Now let me zoom out. If you zoom out, then this is what you're going to see. Oops. Yeah. Okay, okay, it's pretty much the same. Okay, let me go to the next one. Okay. Okay, so this is Ananta Sesh. Okay, everything is residing on his hood. And then from Karanadakasaya Vishnu, Garbhodakasaya Vishnu appears, enters each universe. Okay, this is one. Just now I show you one egg, right? Now you can see so many eggs here. So this Vishnu enters, and that's how Lord Brahma is born. Okay, so here is I forgot the name of the Lord Shiva. It says Lord Shiva here. Okay, now this Shiva is different. Okay, outside this egg, this is Brahma Jyoti, Jyoti coming down. This is Kailash. This is Lord Sadasiva. So he is not in the material realm, all right, because he is not a Jiva Tattva. Okay, he's not. All right, and then if you go up, there is Ayodhya Dham, where Lord Rama resides, and these are all the Vaikuntha planets. This is this whole thing, right? This blue and red and pink here, these are all Vaikuntha planets. You have one planet for one incarnation of Krishna, like Lord Ram has one planet, Lord Narsingha has one planet, something like that. Okay, Ayodhya Dham. So above that is Madhurya Dham, and this is called Goloka. So in the center, or the ultimate source, is Krishna here. And from there, all this Jyoti is coming down. So can you see the word here, Brahma Jyoti? So this is how the illustration of the entire creation. All right, so you can see our planet is so small, but the entire creation is this big. So that is why we say this earth, right, this material planet, material world is like a small prison in the entire country. Okay, so just like there is a small prison in the entire nation, so like that, this entire material world is a prison in the entire creation. Okay, so okay, you can see this, all right? Okay, so I will share all this in the group. Okay, so please read this recap. We will try to do a quick recap tomorrow before we start our chapter 15. So I think chapter 15 is pretty short, okay, compared to 13 and 14. Okay, can we have somebody to read this? Wow, thank you so much for staying. It's already.
May I?
Yes, Mataji.
In the practice of Krishna consciousness, the devotee engages all the gates, the whole body, to reach the state of pure goodness. For example, the devotee uses the eyes and the ears to read and hear the scriptures, the nostrils to smell flowers offered to the Lord, and the mouth to taste food offered to the Lord, and to chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So this is how we transcend it. Okay, so how we illuminate all our 9 gates with knowledge, with pure goodness. Pure goodness is also transcendental. So you can say that, which means ignorance, passion, goodness, pure goodness, or transcendental or spiritual. So that is pure goodness. Okay, so these are all the way that we can purify our senses and engage in devotional service. Okay, so we can have somebody to lead the recitation for today. We can end the class. Param Prabhu? Yes.
Okay.
Prabhu. Okay. 2 lines by 2 lines. 2 words, 2 words.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
No, sorry.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Rama, Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much, Param Prabhu. Nicely sung.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.